All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're tackling something that sounds super technical, but it's actually at the very heart of pretty much every big company you can think of: SAP FI/CO. Now, don't worry if that sounds like alphabet soup. We're going to break it all down and make it simple. Let's do this. And really, this quote just nails it. The best way to get a grip on this thing is to stop thinking of it as just software. Instead, I want you to picture it as a company's financial brain. It's the command center, the central hub that processes every single thing that has to do with money. So that's going to be our mission for the next few minutes. We're going to take a tour of this financial brain. We'll see how it's built, its structure, how it talks to the rest of the business, and most importantly, how it takes a whole mess of raw data and turns it into smart, intelligent decisions. Okay, so what's the textbook definition? Well, SAP FI/CO is a critical module or a piece of the bigger SAP system. But honestly, a better way to think about it is like the central nervous system for a company's finances. I mean, it handles literally everything, from paying a simple bill to planning out the entire budget for next year. And, just like our own brains, this financial brain isn't just one big blob. It's got two halves, two distinct hemispheres that have to work together perfectly. And they're called FI and CO. Each one has a totally different job, but they're both absolutely crucial. And this is where it gets really interesting, because you can see the split so clearly here. Think of FI, or financial accounting, as the left brain. It's logical, it's factual, and it's looking outward. Its main job is to create the official reports for people outside the company, like investors and the government. It answers the big question: how much money did we make? Then you've got CO, or controlling. That's the right brain. It's all about strategy, creativity, and looking inward. It helps managers inside the company figure out why the numbers look the way they do, and, of course, how they can get better. So let's dive a little deeper into that left brain, the FI side. This is really the guts of a company's bookkeeping. Everything ends up in the general ledger, which is kind of the master record book. It keeps track of the money you owe with accounts payable, the money that's owed to you with accounts receivable, and a whole lot more. This is the part that creates that official, external story about the company's financial health. Okay, now let's flip over to the CO side, the internal strategist. This is where the real magic happens for managers. You've got things like cost center accounting, which basically tracks which departments are spending what. Product costing tells you exactly how much it costs to make one single item. And then there's the true powerhouse, profitability analysis, or COPA. This thing is amazing. It answers that one critical question: which of our products and customers are actually making us money? But a brain can't just float in a jar, right? It's useless without a body. It needs a whole nervous system to get information and send out commands. Well, SAP FI/CO is exactly the same. It has to be connected to every single part of the business to do its job. And you can see those connections right here. It's a pretty elegant system. When the sales team makes a sale, boom, that info zips right over to FICO to record the revenue. When the warehouse buys more supplies, zap, it kicks off a payment process in FI. It's this constant, seamless conversation happening all the time, with that financial brain sitting right in the middle of it all. So, that's all the theory. But let's make this real. Let's actually follow a single business thought from start to finish. We're going to trace the entire journey of making and selling one product, from buying the raw materials all the way to seeing if we actually made any money on it. So how does that really work? How does that initial idea, let's build and sell a product, actually travel through this whole nervous system? What does that trip even look like? And here it is, the whole journey laid out. It all kicks off in materials management, or MM, when we buy some raw materials. Right away, that sends a signal to FI to log that we owe the supplier money. Then, as we're making the product, the CO module is watching, tracking every single penny of cost. Next up, the sales department sells the finished product. That triggers FI again, but this time to record that a customer owes us money. And the grand finale? The CO module jumps in and analyzes the whole shebang to tell us if that sale was profitable. It's one smooth, automated story. Okay, so we've got all this data flowing, all these connections firing. But what's the point? All that activity is just noise if the brain can't produce something useful with it. And this is where we get to the real payoff, turning all that data into actual insights that can push the business forward. First up, let's look at the output from that left brain, the FI hemisphere. Its main job is to provide that clear, official snapshot of the company's financial health. And these are the big three you've probably heard of, right? The balance sheet, the profit and loss statement, and the cash flow statement. These are basically the report cards you show to the outside world, to your investors, to the bank, to regulators. This is the official story of how you're performing.
But let's be honest, the internal story is usually way more interesting. So while FI reports tell you what happened, CO reports tell you why it happened and help you decide what to do next.
And these reports are pure strategic gold for managers. A variance report can tell you, hey, the marketing team is way over budget. A product cost report can reveal hidden inefficiencies in how you make things. And that profitability analysis, it could drop a bombshell, revealing that your number one selling product is actually losing you money. Now that is actionable intelligence. Okay, so this brain is incredibly powerful. But how do people actually, talk to it? How do you tell it what to do? Well, they use a special kind of language, a set of commands called transaction codes, or just T codes for short. I know, this looks a little intimidating, like old school computer code, but really, T codes are just shortcuts. That's all they are. So instead of clicking through 5 different menus, an accountant can just type FB60 and bam, they're right on the screen they need for entering a vendor's bill. For people who use this system all day, it's a crazy fast way to get work done. And as you can probably imagine, understanding how this financial brain works opens up some amazing career opportunities. Seriously, people who can implement, manage, and interpret this system are in incredibly high demand in just about every industry you can think of. To become one of these experts, what you might call an SAP neurosurgeon, you need more than just tech skills. You have to really get accounting. You need a solid grasp of how businesses actually run. And you've got to be a great problem solver. It's this perfect blend of financial smarts and technology. So let's bring it all together. When you boil it all down, the real magic of SAP S/FI/CO is this incredible transformation. It takes thousands of individual, messy business events, a sale, a purchase, a payroll run, and organizes them all into something clear and meaningful. And this is what it's all for. That financial clarity leads to actionable insights. Those insights power smarter profitability decisions, and all of that together contributes to the long-term health and sustainability of the entire business. It's a powerful chain reaction. So I'll leave you with this final thought. We've explored how the financial brain of an enterprise works. The real question is, if you had access to this level of insight and control, what incredible decisions would it power for you?